Hello, this is Raymond Mayfield, and it's great to be back with you again on this program today. Thank you so much for listening today. You can find all my videos at raymondmayfield.com and also www.raymondmayfield.com. I do many subjects. I've been told that I'm on 32 different outlets all across the country and nation, and I appreciate you tuning in. I have two counseling sites. One is counselorsofpeace.com and the other is counselorsoftruth.com, and I'll be glad to counsel with you over the telephone. I want to do a great subject today. I want to talk about the person of Ruth and Naomi, and I want to talk to you about this, one of the most beloved women in the Bible. A man by the name of Elimelech was from Bethlehem, left the country because of a famine, and moved to the land of Moab. With him his wife Naomi and his two sons Mahlon and Chilion. In Ruth chapter 1 and verse number 2 and 3, according to the Living Bible. During the time of their residence there, Elimelech died and was left with her two sons in verse number 3. But later on both of her two sons died, so that Naomi was left alone without her husbands and her sons. That's a tragic thing when a woman not only loses her husband, but also loses her two sons. What a tragic thing that was. You know, the Lord is always with us regardless of what happens in our lives. She decided to return to Israel. After living in the land of Moab, she wanted to go home with her two daughter-in-laws. But she later changed her mind and encouraged her daughter-in-laws to return home, but one insisted on staying with her. Ruth 1 and 15 is one of the most beloved scriptures in the Bible, but Ruth replied, "Don't make me leave you, for I want to go wherever you go, to live wherever you live. Your people shall be my people, your God shall be my God. I want to die where you die, and I want to be buried there." What a wonderful declaration. I'm sure Naomi must have had a good influence upon Ruth's life, because she wanted to serve the same God that she served. Even though of the tragic, terrible things that happened to Naomi, she still had an influence on Ruth's life. "May the Lord do terrible things to me," she said, Naomi, "if I allow anything but death to separate us," in verse number 17. Rather, Ruth said that. So when Naomi saw that Ruth had made up her mind and could not be persuaded otherwise, she stopped urging her in verse number 18. So they both came to Bethlehem, and the whole village was stirred by their arrival in verse number 19. "Is it really Naomi?" they said. Naomi said, "Don't call me Naomi, but call me Mara." Naomi's name means pleasant, but Mara means bitter. She had had a terrible time with the loss of her loved ones, her sons and her husband, and she had felt like everything was against her. She said, "I went full out, but the Lord has brought me home safely. Why should you call me Naomi when the Lord has turned his back on me and sent such calamity upon me?" We have learned in this session today several things. That unpleasant thing can happen to every one of us. Naomi lost her husbands and two sons died, and what a tragic thing. It can happen to anyone, but we have to just lift our hand and praise the Lord and thank him. Like Job said, "The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." But she was going back home to Israel, and that's a good thing, where things are going to improve in her life because she is going home. She found a faithful friend that I'll talk more about in my next session, and she loved very much and wanted to serve her God, and of course her name was Ruth. They become special friends, and she went back with her all the way to Israel and served the same God that she served. And when I continue my next series and talking about it, I'll talk a little bit more about Ruth in my next session. And I want to thank you so much for tuning into this broadcast today. I appreciate very much you listening. May the Lord bless you today and cause His grace to be upon you, and may His love surround you. And I appreciate you sharing this video with everyone that listens to it today. This is Raymond Mayfield, and I'll talk to you again real soon.